it. That's enough out of you. Jesus. As soon as this plane lands, you're going to the doctor and you're going to be committed. This is insane. Fasten your seatbelt.
Alright, Oval fans, before going forward in the video, you know the drill. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up to show you like it. Also hit subscribe to help me reach 200,000 subscribers. Hit the bell icon and select all. That way you're notified whenever I post new content to the channel. And follow me on social media, guys. Go ahead and go down to that description box. Links to all the various Facebook groups, Twitter, Instagram accounts. Follow me on all that stuff. Great time with other fans. Now, let me put it this way. I couldn't put everything in there because it was at least a good 3 to 4 minutes of Jason and Maude talking before the cliffhanger ending, where he looks over to check and see if Gayle's sleeping. Maude, you know, she strapped herself in. She kind of leaned back. Her eyes are closed before Jason just goes right for her neck to strangle her. Now, the question is, will Jason kill Maude? I already did a video about this based on the trailer. But when I say trailer, I mean the season 2 trailer, not the end credit trailer, because strangely enough, and I could be wrong about this, but I don't know if they actually showed any footage of what Jason does next in the trailer. Now, excuse the clicking, but I'm actually going to go ahead and see if I can figure that out next on the Oval. I don't think we got anything, which is good because I'd rather them save something like that for the actual episode as opposed to like the haves and the have-nots, where they had that one end credit trailer of Justin being on fire, and then we get to the finale and we see it. Like, I'd rather us be surprised. Now, we do know he will open the emergency hatch. He will try to strangle his grandmother. The question is, will she die? Because remember, he kept threatening, okay, we'll turn around or I'll open the hatch, but there has to be an emergency. So obviously the emergency would be his grandmother. So, before I go further into the psychosis of this scene, but I gotta say, Maude actually seemed genuinely concerned with Jason. What I mean by that is, if you look at the difference between how Maude treats Jason and how she treats Gayle, I want to say she wants to treat them both the same, but it's just that Gayle is obviously sassy, has a response to everything, so she's always challenging whoever is speaking to her. Jason, on the other hand, if you go back and listen to like Maude's dialogue and whatnot, she honestly sounds like a concerned grandmother. What's wrong, Jason? Tell me what's wrong. I want to help. I want to understand, but you need to tell me what's going on. Literally go back and watch the last few minutes of the episode and you'll see what I mean. She's genuinely going to, well, we know she planned on like the whole torture and crap, but she genuinely wanted to know what was bothering Jason. It's like, I didn't do anything perverted. I'm constipated. What are you nervous about? Nothing. And then he literally tells her only when it got to the point where he knew Maude wasn't going to turn the plane around unless he did something drastic. So if you kind of look at the similarities between this scene and when he raped and killed Jean, he gets like a little shaky, overly emotional, and he realizes he's in a no-win situation, so he does something drastic to get what he wants. He rapes Jean and then realizes when his cover is going to be blown, strangles her and hides her under the bed. Now in this scene with Maude, it's like, I need to go back to clean up the mess I made. No, we're not going back. Okay, fine, I'll do something drastic. And then I liked how he checked to see if his sister was awake so she wouldn't be aware of what was going on. So he went for the throat, tried to strangle, well, which begs the question of if he strangles his grandmother and she's dead, wouldn't that count as enough of an emergency to stop the plane? Because I'm wondering, like, what's the point of making sure that Gayle is asleep if you're about to do something that's going to cause her to wake up? Like, okay, let's say whatever he does ends up with nobody dying. but puts his grandmother in a position where she can't talk or explain what's going on. Kind of like Laura, after finding Jean's dead body, she gets taken on a stretcher, probably had a heart attack or whatever from the stress. So I'm wondering, like, is this a situation where Maude is like just sucked out of the plane, which I don't think would happen because she strapped herself in. We do know Jason opens the emergency hatch, so I'm assuming that he strangles like Maude, like he did Jean, either until she's dead or, passes out, loses consciousness, and then opens the emergency hatch after he's strapped in, because we do know Jason survives based off the fact that Victoria's in the White House slapping the hell out of him. So we know Jason will somehow make it back to the White House. Yeah, I'm a little conflicted. I honestly couldn't tell you what exactly is going to happen. I mean, whatever happens to Gayle could explain why she isn't in the opening credits, but Jason did say, "I'll open this emergency hatch and kill us all." So do you think he straps himself in and allows his grandmother and sister to both be sucked out of the plane? And then he closes the emergency hatch when they're gone, or maybe he closes the hatch when Maude is dead or something, and then that allows him and Gayle to go back to the White House. I honestly couldn't tell you. All I know is when Jason is cornered, he will kill in order to cover up any kind of, mishap. Because remember, he told Maude what happened. So it's like, why would you tell Maude what happened, assuming she wouldn't tell anyone else? So I think, he said that, which was, what's that saying? The truth is always the hardest thing to believe, in order to get her to turn around. But since that didn't happen, it's like, okay, you're disposable. I'll handle you myself. Because remember, Maude is strapped in. So I'm guessing like maybe he undoes her belt and then she gets sucked out of the plane. I don't know. But either way, it's going to be crazy. Just, we just know out of the three, based off the trailer promos, we know that Jason is going to survive. I just don't know about, his sister and Maude. But we'll just have to wait and see. But based off like where Gayle is positioned behind where they're sitting, she would have to go through like both chairs to be sucked up. So I'm just going to assume that Maude either gets sucked out of the window, Jason makes her unconscious, opens the emergency hatch until the plane lands, and then he closes it. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, guys, but thanks so much for tuning into the video. Like I said, I'm kind of glad the trailer didn't really spoil anything. It's all up to speculation. We'll just have to wait and see what happens next. And no, I didn't even check on IMDb to see the if they have the cast listing for the next episode. Well, honestly, it doesn't matter, because regardless as to whether or not Gayle and Maude survive, they're both going to be in the episode because they're both on the plane, and I'm going to assume we pick up where we left off. So there we go. All right, guys. I think something else somebody wanted me to talk about was like the time zone thingy. Hang on, let me check. I need to check the scene when they're on the plane, because somebody wanted me to point this out, but I don't think it's relevant. But I'll double check. I think in the promo, it looked like the scenery where they were on the plane, it looked like it was like evening time or sunset. I'm going to, but it was obviously nighttime, or it was at least dark outside when Maude and Jason were talking. And she did say to Gayle earlier in the episode, it will be about 3 hours before they land. I'm not going to be hard on the quote unquote inconsistency that some people think is going on, like different scenes happening at different parts of the day. It's annoying when it happens in other shows, but I'm going to be lenient on the Gayle and Maude scene and the Jason and Maude scene, because they're in a plane. I forgot the destination. I know they're going to some kind of cabin, but I forgot what state location they're going to. I'm going to leave it up to time zone. Basically be like, well, it doesn't really matter like if the backdrop in terms of day or night looks different than the rest of the episode, because they're traveling in a plane to a different part of the country. So yeah, it's going to be time zone difference. So there we go. All right, but that's all I got for this episode. Sorry, I don't have a definitive answer, but honestly, I'm kind of glad we don't have it, because it leaves the suspense of what the hell is going to happen next. Almost like watching WandaVision, which I'm excited to watch tomorrow. So with that being said, do you think Jason is going to kill his grandmother and possibly sister? But I still don't get what his plan is, because you hid the body underneath the bed. So theoretically, by the time you make it back to the White House, they'll probably find the body by now. So I really don't know what his train of thought is. But then again, he is psycho. So there we go. All right. Well, if you would like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App, or open the emergency hatch and have you flying out of a window. No, I wouldn't do that. And if you want to join Patreon, feel free to do so for as little as $1 a month. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.